Hey everyone, my name is Mary Ann Dickinson. I'm with the Alliance for Water Efficiency, and I'm very pleased to welcome you to the webinar that we're holding today on the Alliance's new consumer media campaign. What we will provide for you in the course of this hour is a snapshot on what the campaign looks like, how you can participate, and what the details are for rolling this campaign out over the course of the next year. So I'd like to first start off by just having some general comments about the webinar itself. As we indicated in our promotional materials, this webinar will run an hour in length, and we will have a lot of time for questions. We probably will only have a presentation of about 30 minutes or so there'll be ample opportunity for answering any questions that you might have. And any questions that might come up along the way. If you're hearing my voice, you've already figured out the audio. It's through your telephone, or it could also be through your computer, microphone, and speakers. So those of you who are not hearing my voice but seeing this slide, hopefully we'll figure that out through the instructions here that you need to choose one or the other. We are recording this webinar so that those who were not able to join us can still listen to it on our website. We will be posting it once this webinar is over. And so since everyone is muted, in an attempt to reduce the background noise, we are suggesting that you all type in your questions through the dialog box that's available in your GoToWebinar screen. If you look at your upper right-hand corner of your screen, there should be a box, a long thin box with an orange arrow, orange with a white arrow on it. If you click that, it'll open up the box and you'll see that you can type in questions to us all along the way. Jeffrey Hughes is with me on this webinar and will compile all the questions, and we will answer them during the webinar before the time is over. We are muting the phone line because we are recording, and we know that makes it a little more difficult for you. We apologize for the inconvenience, but we think it'll make for a better recording and the ability to get this information much more widely disseminated after the webinar is over. So let's go ahead and start. Let's talk about this consumer campaign that the Alliance for Water Efficiency is launching on your behalf. And let's start with discussing a little bit about the need for consumer education and what it is we're trying to do with this campaign. As we were thinking about it and working with our Education and Outreach Committee members on this subject, we came to a couple of conclusions. What is the main barrier that we find in consumer water conservation? A lack of understanding of how much water they actually use. In order to get a consumer to understand behavioral changes that they need to make, they need to recognize that they're actually using more water than they need to. So that is part of what we want to address in this campaign, and we want to offer our members access to a way to get that message across, to do some kind of unified water conservation message that we can spread across the country that people can use not only at the local level, but will have a national resonance as well. We have never really had a national water conservation messaging campaign of any kind. They've always been done at the local level. So what we're hoping to do is provide some national underpinning of your local efforts that you do and provide you some support for perhaps enhancing what you do at the local level to increase the message to your customers. So the basic message we're trying to promote in this campaign that we've developed is the following. We can't sustain our way of life if we don't use water more wisely. So, as a customer, do you know how much water you now waste? And the campaign revolves around the answers to those questions. So, our starting thoughts in this campaign were to design a campaign that we could do very simply and inexpensively. We know that traditional media sources can often be very expensive. It's very expensive to buy television ads. It's sometimes very expensive these days to buy newspaper and magazine ads. And we have these days the ability to promote a lot of messages through social media and digital communication tools, which can reach a much wider audience and which are free. So we wanted to come up with a campaign that would be a mix of both, that would enable our members to launch a campaign that would be virtually free for them if they wished it to be. So our goals in designing this were to come up with a campaign that was affordable and customizable for our members' needs. We wanted a campaign that would create a little bit of buzz and excitement and be interesting. And we wanted a campaign that would avoid high costs of implementation. So we wanted something that you could use right off the shelf as is very cheaply. That it wouldn't have to be, you know, in traditional classic advertising sense. It could be used in a variety of free applications. And we thought we could launch this very easily because we already have a collective voice. We have the connections with all of our memberships to be able to instigate the kind of change we're looking for. We currently have 368 member organizations of the Alliance for Water Efficiency, and of those members, 187 of them are utilities. The rest are businesses and industries that have their own large customer bases. But if you look at the utilities alone, they represent, based on the connection information that we have available for them, it represents about 60 million or so water users across the United States and Canada. That's not a small amount of people. If we could seed a campaign through our existing membership, we could create some real national buzz if we did it all together. So we wanted to come up with something that would be generic enough that you all could use it, whether you were a water utility, whether you were a business with customer service, whatever your interest was in water efficiency. We wanted to make sure that a general campaign could serve the needs that you might have. And we thought if we planned it well and coordinated it well with all of you and launched it all at the same time, that we could create almost like a little movement and create some viral buzz. So we hired a great advertising agency in Denver, Sukol. Those of you who know Sukol know that they're the ad agency behind the Denver Use Only What You Need campaign, which is a very successful advertising campaign for Denver Water. So we hired them and they developed a campaign, and the campaign that I'm about to show you is called Never Waste. And what the campaign message is trying to get at is that not wasting water for a consumer means that the consumer needs to take some small steps that individually might look very small, but in the aggregate roll up to be a lot of water. Here are 4 different areas that are the topic of some of the messages. And these are typical tips that we often use in our campaigns. These are not new ideas, but what we're going to show you is a slightly new treatment of how we are going to give them. Things like fixing a dripping faucet or fixing a leaking toilet, turning off the water while you're shaving, fixing a broken sprinkler head that leaks a lot of water when it's unrepaired, turn off the garden hose if you're not needing it for active use. These are all very small consumer behavior tips, but they can ramp up into large amounts of water. And so what we want to get across to the customer is we want to give some sort of sense of how much water that is. If they make this change, this minor change, they create a measurable impact. How do they know what that measurable impact is and how that's quantified? So we thought that the impact would be more easily understood if that amount of water was compared to something familiar. So we came up with the concept of measuring the reduction in water waste using the everyday object of a water bottle. That's a defined quantity of water, so that water bottle is something that they're familiar and used to seeing. It's not an ordinary water bottle. What we want to do is make this water bottle a symbol of the campaign, not only because of the messages that are printed on it, but the way that we hope it will be a symbol for getting your customers to change the way they think about water on a forever basis. So here's the bottle. The campaign is called neverwaste.org. Here's the bottle that we've come up with that has a whole series of messages on it. And the campaign is designed around the concept of this bottle. So let's just talk a second about the bottle, because the bottle itself is the symbol of the campaign. It's not a necessary piece of the message, but it's a symbol of the campaign. So I thought I would just talk a little bit about it. It's high-quality stainless steel, BPA-free. So we selected a bottle that would be a very desirable consumer product. It's silk screen printed with a lot of fun water facts and messages all around the bottle. It includes a QR code on the bottle that links using a smartphone to our AWE Home Water Works website. We have run a sample of those bottles, and we've been testing them, and the QR code works very well, even though it's on a rounded surface. So we know that this works excellently. And our intention is to create a lot of new content on the Home Water Works website, where this will be clicking to, where the consumer can always get the latest up-to-date information on water use. And so when this bottle is featured in advertising material, the bottle is given a voice, if you will, to communicate why water is important, because it becomes a symbol of reducing water waste. So what I'd like to show you are the ads using the bottle that carry this message. The campaign ads have been developed in 3 different themes. The themes are supply versus demand, and how demand outstrips available supply. Second theme is stop wasting water. Here are things that you typically do, and look how much water it is. And then the third is a set of ads that market the bottle itself as sort of a fun commodity, but then tie it also to a specific local cause, and we'll show you some examples of those ads. So let's start first with the supply and demand ads. Here's the first one. The U.S. population grows by 1 person every 15 seconds, but the total amount of water grows by 1 gallon never. Learn more at neverwaste.org. So a consumer seeing this ad might be motivated to go to neverwaste.org, and when they do, they go to a web page that offers them not only the information that's on the Home Water Works website, but the ability to buy that bottle that you see right there, and the consumer can then buy the bottle and have it as a symbol of their commitment to water conservation. Here's another supply and demand ad. You can see supply and then demand. There's only so much to go around. Learn what you could do at neverwaste.org. So this is a second ad that relates to the supply and the demand differential. Here's a third ad. Here's the total amount of water on Earth, and here's the water that we can drink. Again, more demand that we have in terms of available supply. We can only drink 1% of the water available to us. So again, this is an example of the message we're trying to get across in sort of the overall supply and demand picture. Here's another one. This is one that shows the amount of waste that happens while you running the water while you brush, washing half loads, not repairing leaks, overwatering your lawn. Learn what you could do. So this is, again, an example of supply versus demand. Let's reduce the amount of waste. But we also have ads that we've developed that are specific to the actual waste itself. So here are some of those ads. The water or running toilet waste can fill 800 of these bottles in 1 day. Learn more at neverwaste.org. So this is a terrific indication of how much that running toilet waste. Most people don't think about that running toilet in the bathroom. They don't actually see the water cascading on the floor, so they don't realize how much it is. But when you tell them it's 800 of these 20-ounce bottles, well, now that makes an impact. And then they realize, oh, that's actually quite a bit of water, isn't it? Maybe I should fix that. Here's another one. Let's see if I can get this to move here. Running your garden hose can waste 32 of these bottles in 1 minute. Learn more at neverwaste.org. So what we're saying here is you shouldn't not use a garden hose for legitimate purposes, but if you're just running it and letting it out on the driveway and letting it run, this is how much water it wastes while you're just watching it lie there. Again, simple consumer behaviors can rack up to be quite a few gallons of water over time. And 32 of these bottles in 1 minute is not a small amount of water. So again, it gets the message across to the consumer. Here's another one. A broken sprinkler head can waste 384 of these bottles in 10 minutes. Now, we know we've seen broken sprinkler heads. You know, again, they leak sometimes what appears to be a slow leak, but, you know, it ends up being quite a bit of water over time. And in 10 minutes, it can be 384 of these bottles. So, again, this is the kind of message we want to get across to the customer. The bottle is a symbol of the amount of water that's wasted and how many bottles does it take to fill when you're wasting water in one particular behavior or another. Here's another one. Letting the water run while you shave wastes 32 of these. And that's in the entire act of shaving, which we're assuming is about 5 minutes. Learn more at neverwaste.org. Now, in all these ads, you see the logo of the Alliance for Water Efficiency. We can also put your logo, your utility logo, your business logo on these ads. We are designing these ads for you to be able to use. So think of these ads as you look at them also with your logo on them. So let's move into the third area, which is marketing the bottle, you know, as a fun consumer conservation device, and also marketing a local cause. So here's an example of a marketing ad. This century's hottest fashion item, introducing a water bottle that will change the way you think about water for good. Get one for yourself for the ridiculously low price of $15. And I see now we need to change that, Jeffrey, so let's make a note. This is an error in the ad copy. Because the price will actually say $19.95 at neverwaste.org. Here's another one. It entertains, it informs, and oh yeah, it hydrates. Introducing a water bottle that will change the way we think about water for good. Again, promoting the concept of the bottle, you know, kind of a fun little fact, but getting people to think about it. So I mentioned before that we can customize the campaign ads, and I want to just talk a little bit about that before I show you some of the examples of the local customization. We've discussed already that the bottle can be customized with a member logo for minimal cost. The bottle itself has a spot where we could add your logo. And we can also customize the ads by adding your logo to the advertisements. That's something that can be very simply done. And the ads can be further customized to associate water conservation with a local, familiar water source. We all know that people have an emotional connection to their own water supplies, so where we can create a local connection that will often be a much better motivator for conservation. So we have a couple of examples of how that could work. Here we've just put in the Colorado River, but we could put in your local water supply source, whatever it is. If you're trying to get consumers to be more stewardship-oriented on a local lake or a local watershed, this could be a way of using this ad to promote that. The little bottle that could refill, and then whatever your local river or watershed is. Help make it a reality. Learn more at neverwaste.org. Here's another example. A little bottle that could refill, again, whatever lake or watershed you're wanting to promote, river, etc. That we can customize the ads to your local situation, and that's one of the options available in this particular campaign. So let's just talk about the features of the campaign and what it means for you. We designed this campaign to be absolutely free to AWE members. If you're a member of the Alliance for Water Efficiency, you get the campaign artwork for free. We will have it all on a CD that we will send you, and you can use the material as is. And it's perfect for social media and internet work. It's perfect for websites. It's perfect for even ads or print use. The ads are designed so that they can be used for the following elements. They can be used as bill stuffers, event banners, website, online advertising, print ads. They're sized to be perfect for billboards. They can be used as bus cards. And we can also customize the bottle with your logo for a little bit of an additional cost, which I will mention as we go along here. But the fundamental point I want to make with this particular slide is that the campaign is free to you. The bottle does not have to be part of the campaign. You don't have to buy any of it. You can just use the campaign materials as long as you're a member of the Alliance for Water Efficiency. In terms of customizing, we will provide all the standard ad files to you free of charge, as I mentioned, but if you'd like to have any of the ads customized or resized, we can do that for you for a one-time cost. And that one-time cost, which is a cost to have SUCL involved in customizing it for you, is a one-time cost of $500. If you want to do more extensive ad customizing, such as for a local water source or additional messages, we can estimate that for you, and so we would be happy to do that. But resizing of ads and adding logos to ads, it's just as a one-time cost of $500. You get the new artwork, and then, again, you could use the artwork as you wish. The AWE member logos in black can be added to the bottle. So we have a space on the bottle right now. Currently, we have the bottle has been redesigned to include a number of images, including the WaterSense logo. But we can add the member logo to the bottle for $60 charge and artwork, and a minimum order of 360 bottles that you would purchase. You would pay for those bottles plus the shipping, and we'll give you the details of how that's going to work. And the features of the bottle, when consumers can purchase the bottle on their own. They can go to the they can go to the neverwaste.org website and purchase the bottle themselves. And when they do that, they become ambassadors for the conservation program. I can tell you, because I've been carrying around this sample bottle for the better part of 3 months, that it gets attention everywhere I go. People ask me where I got it, what it is, what it's about. It's very eye-catching. And with your logo on it, it also gives the ability for you to provide your message as well and be an ambassador for your programs and activities. As I mentioned, consumers can buy the bottles individually from our website, and the bottle orders for those purchases will be centrally processed through an e-commerce portal on the Home Water Works website, and they will be shipped directly from a fulfillment house. Same with the utility orders. If a utility or an AWE member, business member, wanted to order bottles, we would ship them from the fulfillment house in a direct ship manner. If the customer is buying the bottle by themselves, the bottle is $19.95, and we will adjust the ad copy and make sure that is the proper price. The AWE member cost for a standard unamended bottle is $12. So you get it much cheaper than we sell to the average consumer, and that's the standard price, no matter how many bottles you buy. The minimum order would be a lot of 24, because it comes 24 in a box, so you buy a box of the bottles. But you can buy larger quantities as well. The standard price is $12 a bottle. So what we were planning to do is we were planning to launch the ad campaign on March 1st of 2003. So if we're not launching it till March, why are we talking about it now? Well, it's because we want to get all prepared. We want to assemble those of you out there who would like to be part of the campaign. We would like to spend the better part of this winter customizing everything for you, getting it all ready so that we all launch at the same time, that we all have the bottles ready, ordered, printed, and ready for distribution, that we launch it all together. And so we want to spend the time between now and March 1st doing that advanced prep work with the customizing. And so we are asking you, if you're interested, that you sign up with us as soon as you can. We have a deadline date of January 1st if you're just interested in the ad campaign. So if you're interested in the ad campaign and customizing it with your logos and so forth on it, we need to know that by January 1st. If you are just wanting to participate and use whatever the standard ads are that we're going to give you for no extra cost, then just let us know, and we'll ship you the artwork, and you'll be ready to go on on March 1st with us. But if you want to customize, you'll need to let us know by January 1st so that we put you in the work queue and get all the orders together. So we'll give you the information at the end of the webinar for how you would contact us and give us the information for the customizing. Remember that the campaign can be easily used without customizing or buying any bottles. It can be used just as it is. But we think it will be more powerful if you choose to expend a small amount of extra money to customize it and to make it your own. And most importantly, what I wanted to suggest is that we launch this campaign together, that we do it all together, because then we'll get our maximum punch. If we dribble it out over time, it won't nearly be as effective as if we all launch together on March 1st. And so given that WaterSense does their Fix a Leak week in March, I'm hoping that this might be a perfect activity for us all to think about combining together with them. So let's talk a little bit about the bottle itself. We can accept orders for the bottle now and continuously throughout 2013. There is no deadline date for the bottle if you don't need it customized. The bottles will always be available. But if you want to be part of the customized campaign, there will be some deadlines involved. And let's just first talk about the details of that. We can do drop ship orders for standard bottles for $12 a bottle plus shipping, and the lot sizes again are based on 24 bottles to the box. And standard bottles mean bottles that are not customized with your logo. If you want to customize it with your logo, we still will do it in lots of 24, but the minimum order is 360 bottles in order to cover the cost of the customization and the extra handling involved. The minimum order is 360 bottles plus $60 logo charge, and you also then pay the shipping. The minimum order for customizing is 360. And we can guarantee that the bottles, a customized bottle, will be available for the March 1st launch if we receive your order and your logo by December 15th. The logo will be a black and white version of a logo, so there's no opportunity to do color on the bottle. As you saw from the bottle ads, the colors in the bottle are blue and black, so your logo would be a black and white rendition. But if we get that plus an indication of what your order is by December 15th, a purchase order or whatever way you think is appropriate to confirm this, we will have it by March 1st if we have your order by December 15th. So we want to make this campaign go viral, and we can't do that without your help. I've been very happy to see how many of you were signing up for this webinar, because it means there's interest in the campaign, and we're hoping that your interest means that you will sign up and want to be part of our effort. So to sign up, here's the slide that I'll stop with to give you time to write it all down. Jeffrey Hughes, our Administrative Director, will be the coordinator of the orders and the processing, and will be our contact person, our interface with SUCL. Here's his email address, jeffrey@a4we.org. Our office phone number is 773-360-5100. And you can reach us during business hours, Central Time. And we're really hopeful that you all are as excited about the campaign as we are, and want to join it and want to help it go viral across the country. So I think at this point I will stop. It's been about halfway through the webinar, and I see we have some questions. So I wanted to just turn it over here to Jeffrey to indicate what some of the questions are.
Great, thanks, Marianne. Yeah, actually there's a commented question that came on early on when you were talking about the thoughts of, initially setting up the campaign and why such a campaign was necessary. And someone had inquired about, they thought that WaterSense was trying to do a national messaging on water efficiency as well. I think there was a comment on maybe there wasn't such a thing already in existence or an effort underway.
Yes, I'm sorry if I gave the impression that there isn't any kind of national effort on messaging, because WaterSense has done a terrific job in launching a more or less internet-driven consumer messaging campaign, and also related to WaterSense products. But the campaign really does focus on making sure consumers understand about WaterSense and why they should look for the WaterSense label. And what I was really thinking of when I made that comment was the the Crying Indian commercial from the anti-litter days. Some of you are old enough, perhaps, that might remember that ad that was a television ad that is generally credited with having been the most effective advertisement, public service advertisement of all time, because it really galvanized the nation and got them to stop littering over the course of the decade that followed. And we've never had anything like that in water. And, you know, not that I'm suggesting that this is remotely comparable, but I think what we need to move towards, all of us collectively, is that kind of national consciousness on water. And we know we're not there yet. We know that we're making small chipping efforts. Again, most of it's on the local level. We need a lot of national efforts to pull together to try and change our collective national consciousness on how much water we're actually wasting on a regular basis, especially as compared to the rest of the world. The Alliance for Water Efficiency, you know, a little attempt to try and stretch across the country and attempt to do something that is national. And just so our friends at WaterSense know, we have amended the bottle to put the WaterSense logo on it. I know you don't see that in the ads itself because the logo is actually on the other side of the bottle. But when you see the bottle, you'll see that the ad is there. The logo is there. So do we have any questions from anyone?
Yeah, there are questions. When will the Never Waste website be active?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
When will the neverwaste.org website be active, go live?
We are envisioning that the neverwaste.org portal will be activated by January 1st.
Thank you. Where does the money, sorry?
I just wanted to finish and say that we didn't want to activate it too much sooner because we want to have it be closer to the actual launch date of the campaign.
Thank you. Where does the money, the dollars raised from the water bottle sales go?
Okay, let's talk about money. This campaign itself was made possible, and the money to develop the campaign was made possible by a grant that the Alliance for Water Efficiency received from the Home Depot Foundation. We're very grateful for the early support that we got from them to be able to develop the campaign. However, we don't have any ongoing operational funds to keep it going. And so the amount of, the very small amount of profit that comes from the sale of the bottles will be going directly into continuing to promote the consumer campaign. It'll provide the operational support to keep it going. Because at this point, you know, it is not funded as a separate project. So at the cost of $12 a bottle, there's very little profit to AWE in that pricing. There's only profit at the consumer end, and it's not really profit. Again, it's going toward the maintenance of the program and the continued cost of the program.
Great, thank you, Marianne. Would the slides to this presentation be available? The actual slides?
Yes, and we have received requests from people for the ad slides themselves. And what we will do for those of you who need to show the slides to management, we will come up with a watermarked slide deck that you can show your managers to make sure that they see what it is that they're signing up to do. We will also have this particular webinar slide deck available as a PowerPoint presentation for those of you who need it, and then we'll have the taped webinar posted on our website. So give us a few days to correct the $sign on the slides, and we will get to those of you out there who are interested. Just let Jeffrey know if you need a slide deck of the images, and we'll get that to you.
Thank you for that. Here's a comment with a related question. Many agencies are developing drink tap water campaigns. Is the AWE planning on working with these programs to support both messages? How are we going to address tap water concerns that may come up?
Well, you know, that's a very interesting question, because one of the first comments that we got during consideration of the campaign was whether this would be perceived as an anti-bottled water campaign. And I wanted to stress right at the outset that this water bottle campaign is not meant to be a statement about bottled water. It is meant to be a statement of a quantity of water that's used. However, those of you who are trying to promote tap water drinking programs in your regions can consider this a vessel for that message as well. And if that's something you are interested in, we can connect you with Sukal to see if perhaps we can have some additional ads developed for you that might have that message. But the concept of giving a consumer a water bottle presumes that they are comfortable with the concept of filling it with their own tap water. And that's, of course, one of the wonderful side benefits of the campaign, is that we are promoting the fact that tap water is indeed safe and very affordable to drink, and why shouldn't we fill it up with tap water that's available, at reasonable cost from our own water utility. It's a very consistent message. But our goal in this campaign was to emphasize the amount of water that's wasted by that volume of that water bottle, and it was not meant to be an anti-bottled water statement.
Great, thank you, Marianne. Next question is, where on the bottle will a member logo be placed? And related is, could a member opt to have their own QR code printed instead of that logo? So maybe then there are two QR codes on the bottle.
Well, the bottle design is fixed, and there is a spot on the bottle for the member logo, and I should have actually put a slide there of the entire artwork on the bottle to show you, and I'm remiss in not having done that. But the spot that's occupied presently by the WaterSense logo is a very large logo, and that could be a place where you would put your member logo if you wish. The redesigning the bottle is not an option. A second QR code is also not an option. And in terms of substituting your QR code for ours, that's kind of a concern that we have here. We still want to brand this campaign as the Alliance for Water Efficiency, and if it's always if the QR code goes to everyone else's websites and never our own, that diminishes the sort of the national impact of this campaign. So we did make a policy decision that the QR code would always go to the National Home Water Works website. But those of you who are members know that you can get a linking package to the Home Water Works website that has your utility or member name on it that you can put on your website, so it looks like it's actually your website when people click into it. And that, of course, is still an option. But at this point, the QR code is basically set to be the Home Water Works website.
Great. Thank you, Marianne. Kind of relating, I think you just alluded to it, do we have a PDF or snapshot picture showing the full messaging of the bottle?
Yes, we do. And again, I apologize for not having put this in the presentation because I do have it. We can send that out to, if you send Jeffrey an email, we will email it to you so that you can see what the entire artwork looks like.
Great, thank you. Also regarding the format of the ads that would ultimately be given on this, via the CD, what digital format would those be provided to if they were to sign up?
The digital format will be art files that can be used, very high-resolution art files. And if they need to be resized to fit, say, bill stuffers or other, specific formatted sizes, that's something that can be done fairly straightforwardly by Sukal. And we could arrange that for you. But the art files that would be available will be in an art file format as well as JPEGs.
Great, thank you. Going back to the logo question again, related. Here, this person is asking is if the member agency had a corporate sponsor, can the sponsor's logo be used on the bottle instead of the member agencies?
Yes. The sponsor, though, the sponsor would be connected to the member. The real question is, who is the member of the Alliance for Water Efficiency? We have to make sure that this option is only available to those who are members. So we can talk about the specifics of your particular case, but I'm sure that's something we can work out. The question is, though, how many logos could be on the bottle, and really only one logo. So we don't have room on the bottle for multiple logos. That would involve a complete redesign of the bottle, which is not possible at this time.
Great. Thank you, Marianne. One last comment or question kind of related to the overall gist of the campaign again is, did you consider asking, do you know how much water you use rather than how much you waste? They're just curious about the thought process initially.
Well, that's a good question, too. And we considered a number of different campaign ideas that actually, for different campaigns when we were designing this, that actually went off of that concept rather than how much water you waste. And how much water you use is an open-ended question that most people certainly don't have the answer to. And giving standardized responses in ads is a lot harder for that question than it is for the question of, you know, how much you waste. So what we were trying to get at with this campaign were messages that would be simply understood without too much complicating explanation. And waste is a concept that it is a little bit more intuitively obvious than wise water use is in the reverse. So we elected to go with the quantifying, you know, your typical wasteful uses as a result. That doesn't mean we couldn't do variations of this going forward. And if this campaign looks like it's popular and is working well, we will continue to design new ads. That's part of what the bottle revenue will go towards. And the new ads could certainly get at that very same issue. So we're looking forward to building on this, not having this just be a first attempt, but at the beginning of a long communication that we will have with customers across the country.
Okay, thank you. There are actually no more questions.
Okay, well, I'm hopeful by all these questions that you are all actively considering being part of this campaign. We would love to have you help us with this and help launch a national message for water efficiency. So continue to stay in touch with us. You have Jeffrey's email there and phone number, and we look forward to working with you in the rollout of this over the next 3 months or so. We're particularly interested in how many of you would like to have bottle orders customized, and we'll of course send you the full wrap of the artwork on the bottle as you get in touch with us. And we look forward to getting this launched. So thank you very much for your interest and for being part of this webinar, and we look forward to talking with you in the next several months.